Hey Jasmine. Okay, so the spread I found for you is one about overcoming challenges. I thought that it would resonate. It's kind of just talking about like your current challenges right now, how they're weighing you down, how you can possibly overcome this, how your different sides would respond to that, um, maybe some clarity on why you've been put on this path right now, and what will change once you overcome this challenge. So yeah, just we'll get started. Okay, so we have Jasmine here with us today. I'm asking for your divine wisdom and your divine light to shine through the reading right now to help Jasmine overcome all that is challenging her right now. I ask that you guide my path. I ask that you use me as a channel to guide Jasmine to overcome this. I ask that only your divine light and wisdom shine through on her reading today, please, Spirit. Okay, thank you. What is currently Jasmine's greatest challenge? What is Jasmine's challenge? Okay. Okay, Spirit. What is the best way that Jasmine can overcome this obstacle? What is the best way that Jasmine can overcome this obstacle right now, Spirit? Okay, what is the best way that Jasmine can overcome this obstacle? How is Jasmine shadow self responding to this challenge? How is Jasmine shadow self responding to this challenge? Okay, makes sense. How can her higher self respond to this challenge? So how can Jasmine's higher self respond to this challenge? Okay. Why has Jasmine been put on this path? Spirit, why has Jasmine been put on this path, please? Okay. What will change once she overcomes this challenge? Spirit, what will change for Jasmine when she overcomes this challenge? What will change for Jasmine when she overcomes this challenge? Please clarify the 10 of Wands. Spirit, clarify the 10 of Wands. Clarify the 10 of Wands, please. Spirit, clarify the 10 of Wands. Spirit, clarify the 10 of Wands. Okay. Alrighty, so for your current greatest challenge, you have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords energy talks about running away from the truth, avoiding responsibility, maybe just wanting to be by yourself right now, wanting to be alone. It also talks about your energy or the energy of someone around you who may be manipulative, like kind of like a sneaky person. So you kind of have like this guy, and he's running away with the swords, and he may not very well be the most honest person. It says that when you draw this card in the you now position, it's likely that you're not facing the truth. Maybe you're avoiding obligations or some kind of commitment. There also may be a dishonest person around you or people, someone who may be trying to deceive you in some way, a sneak, a liar, a friend or a lover could be two-faced. You can claim credit for something you didn't do, or someone is complaining behind your back. And so currently it just kind of seems as though your greatest challenge right now is either people around you that are kind of bringing you some strife, or your own energy in here, um, maybe not fully accepting complete responsibility, or just not really focusing on the goals that you need to be focused on right now. In how this challenge weighs you down, you got the King of Cups rooted down by the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands energy is an energy of a lot of conflict. So it just kind of talks about, it's like you have all of the people there and they're kind of all fighting, and, none of them are really getting along. This could also talk about a battle within ourselves. But at the end of the day, it's like everyone's screaming because they just want to be heard. Nobody's listening to one another. Again, it could be your own energy. Like, sometimes we have like these things in our head, or we have these thoughts that go through our minds, and it's like a constant battle, right? And we're not in alignment with that right now, right? And so you got that kind of energy coming in with the King of Cups. And the King of Cups energy is somebody who is accepting their limitations. They know how to keep their head in a crisis. They evaluate situations. They're very balanced, right? And so having this King of Cups energy, and then having this very kind of hostile energy right on top of it, could maybe indicate that you have that potential to have that King of Cups energy. But all of the fighting has to stop, whether it's internal, whether it's people around you, whatever's causing a bunch of hostility in your life right now. You have to know that it's not worth it. If it's taking you off your game, if it's maybe not making you take the strides that you need to take, or kind of get out of the energy of fighting yourself or lying to yourself about something that you're just not really facing right now, the King of Cups energy would invite you to come out of that, right? Because again, he's that energy where it's, he's aware of the facts, he's tolerant, he has self-discipline, he's a very powerful influence. He's secure, he's a very stable energy. And so the best way to overcome this obstacle, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So any of the Pentacles cards talk about stability, they talk about your money situation. And the Ace of any of the suits is the first card in the deck, right? So it kind of talks about new beginnings. It talks about the very start of something, planting a seed, right? And so more specifically, the Ace of Pentacles talks about practical accomplishments, trusting in your situation, starting new, turning over a new leaf, being grounded. Because it's Pentacles, that could be, maybe you're thinking about starting your own business. Maybe you're thinking about different job ideas, like you're getting creative, right? It says the materialistic energy of the Ace of Pentacles encourages you to sow your seeds of success, get the projects going, and take advantage of what's working for you right now. So I know that, we kind of talked a little bit and things aren't really looking super up for you right now, but this card is kind of indicating that you probably have an idea about something, for something. Like I said, it could be a new job that you want to take, a business that you want to get into, whatever it is right now. The energy is saying that the best way to overcome this obstacle is by going for that, right? You're just starting out. Like I said, it may even just be an idea in your head that you really want to do. Go for it. Like, I think it has the potential here to be successful. We're going to look at how the other cards are and kind of see what's there. Sorry. But so far that's looking good. Like you overcome this by taking that leap, by starting the new idea, by starting the business, by taking that new job. Like anything that that you're thinking about right now that has to do with monetary value is something that you should go for right now. In how your shadow self responds to this, you have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands, one second, talks about Being challenged by others, people who want to take your place. Maybe you have some people again that are disagreeing with you. You did get this card earlier, so that's another card of just kind of like that fighting, that hostile energy. So I don't know right now if you have that around you. It seems like you might, or just again, it could be your own inner critic. It could be something that came out of nowhere. Maybe you thought that you had a lot of support. Maybe you thought that you were on a path, or that somebody had your back, or you kind of had that, and then maybe it kind of turned out that that person like wasn't there for you as much as you thought that they were. It may have been a surprise to you. Or again, your own inner thoughts could have kind of come attacking you at like the worst possible time. But the Seven of Swords energy kind of says that your shadow side is this part right here, that whatever's stopping you from going back, whatever's holding you back from going to what you want to do, it could very well be that you're not standing your ground maybe as much as you should, only because the seven of wands talks about standing your ground. It says that it's time to say no, it's time to stop compromising. He also talks about going for what you want, taking action accordingly. So maybe you're in an argumentative, like I said, because it's also talking about just being challenged by others, or by people kind of coming out of nowhere and disagreeing with you, or not kind of supporting you on your path. So you could kind of be facing that energy again. And perhaps like your shadow self, which is like kind of like that darkness in us and everything like that, is the opposite of that. Like you just don't want to fight anymore, right? Like you don't have the strength, you don't have it inside of you, and you're just very tired right now. How your higher self should be responding to this: you got the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands here, it's another card of new beginnings, right? Because it's an ace, so it's the first card in any of the decks in the minor arcana. And like I said, it talks about new beginnings. So the Ace of Wands is a creative vision. It's a fresh start. It's a new adventure. So now we're coming into your higher self, like you're gonna decide to keep fighting, okay? Even if you're tired, even if you don't want to fight anymore, you're going to stand your ground, right? Your light side is going to win over is going to win over your shadow side. I'm willing it to be so. I think you can do it. And I think that it's coming out here that like you are a very strong person. I mean, even these cards are of conflict. If you have like the wands and the cards that are of conflict, you have a few cards here that indicate that you're ready to stand your ground. You're ready for this new chapter. I just think that maybe sometimes we're afraid. We're afraid to take that first step. We're afraid to just jump off of the cliff and say, oh my God, I can't do it. Or, oh, that seems silly, or I'm not going to start this. But here you have another card encouraging you. It says right here, having belief in your abilities, knowing your way forward, facing up to the facts. Just like this other card here in the very beginning talked about, the energy of the Seven of Swords is another energy saying that you yourself may not be completely honest with yourself. You may not be taking the step forward into what you truly could do, but you're getting a very clear indication that now is time, and that it's okay to move forward. It's okay if you move forward, even if you're afraid. Just still find that little spark of courage to do it, because it looks like it's going to pay off. This card also just talks about coming up with a solution for your problem, acting on an inspirational idea. It says that right now the spirit of enterprise is yours to play with, whether it's a creative idea that's been lurking in the back of your mind or a sudden gush of optimism and courage. It is time to act on that feeling of enthusiasm. Move forward with whatever you want to do that's going to help those coins, right? Anything that you want, anything right now that you had an idea for, this reading is asking you to push forward with that. So right now we also have here why this has been put on your path. So the struggle that you're currently facing, obviously not ideal. None of us really want to struggle. Nobody wants to struggle in life. But I believe that we go through things sometimes, or things kind of come to us because that it was just that season for you, right? Maybe there was something that you had to learn. Maybe there was, things that you weren't seeing that the universe or God, whatever your beliefs are, was trying to make you see that you just weren't. So sometimes we have these uncontrollable situations happen to us, and while they're not ideal, we're not being punished, right? Like, nobody's punishing us. There's no higher power that wants to see us suffer, but there are things that we have to learn, and it's just kind of part of life. And so I think maybe sometimes we go through those things for that purpose, right? And here it's saying that you were put on this path with the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles talks about your professional growth, proving yourself, being aware of your potential, getting together with others, team spirit. But on the shadow side of that card, even the cards have shadow sides, right? It talks about being too dependent on others' opinions. So what I'm getting from here is that this time may have very well come into your life because, maybe you weren't aware of your potential. Maybe you weren't living up to your potential. Maybe you were selling yourself short, or you were just relying too much on what other people said about you, or, maybe you've had ideas and you people talked about them, or they weren't supporting you, again, because you did have some of this energy over here where people kind of seem to be coming out of nowhere, maybe trying to put you down, maybe not believing in you. And if you have that energy around you and you're letting that energy bring you down, right? We have choices, and we have choices to move away from stuff like that, but we don't always do it right away when we're supposed to, and it could end up being to our own detriment. So it's very possible that those are some of the things that you just had to learn in order to make you stronger and in order to help you keep moving on your path. Under what will change once you overcome this challenge, you got the Ten of Wands, rooted down by the Ten of Cups. And so I love this because tens in the tarot are the end of a cycle, right? And so the Ten of Wands is somebody taking on all the burden by themselves. But the beautiful part about this card, even though obviously he's struggling, obviously he has, a lot going on here, and there doesn't seem to be anyone in sight to help him. He knows innately that this is temporary. He knows that he's not going to be going through the struggle forever, so he just keeps pushing on, right? And that's nice. That's a beautiful thing. And then you had that rooted down by the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is one of my favorite cards. I think it's such a beautiful energy. It's the energy of family. It's the energy of creating this really beautiful life for yourself. Potentially, ideally, with a partner, with somebody who works with you, with somebody who understands. So it's almost as though, you go through all these trials and tribulations. You may encounter people along the way who are just combative and just want to go against you, or just have something that you feel like, they're not supporting you, they don't have your back. And unfortunately, we all encounter those people, right? Obviously not ideal, but we're gonna come by them. But we have to learn how to keep it pushing. We have to learn how to keep it moving. I think sometimes when we don't want to let go of things, it's because we fear the unknown. We don't know what's coming. But most of the time, we weren't put here, like I said, to suffer. We weren't put here to feel bad about ourselves all of the time. So if we can find it in us, and we can find the strength to carry on another day, to get away from all the things that weigh us down, there are so many bigger, better, and beautiful things. And I think that really indicates that here, right? Like, for the time being, you keep it moving, you keep it pushing, you do the work, you realize your potential, you start seeing success because you're moving without fear, or fearful or not, you're moving forward, you're pushing on, you have all of this on your back, but you come out happy in the end, right? Because you're rewarded. Like, this is a really beautiful card for, like, you're rewarded with that beautiful life that you wanted, that you were striving for. This is why we struggle sometimes, because this is going to feel so much sweeter, right? Once it comes, like, it's going to feel really good. And so I definitely think, for that coming out, for what will change when you overcome this challenge, it's, like I said, you keep pushing on, and you just do the work for a little while, and everything changes. Like, there's not anything that probably won't change, and it will most likely all be for the better. I think that change is very uncomfortable for most of us, everyone. I think some of us handle it a lot different than others, but I think you definitely have it in you. I definitely get the sense that, you know, you are a very strong, very hardworking person. Sounds like you have some really great ideas. You have some things that you have coming up for you here, and I think it's gonna come out really well for you. So that was your reading. I just wanted to let you know as well, while I was shuffling, this one came out, and if it doesn't really go along with the read as far as, like, you know, if it's 7 cards and more pop out, I kind of just put them to the side and then I mention them at the end. So this guy is the 9 of Wands, and he's another one talking to you about standing strong through adversity. It asks you to remember that you're going to suffer setbacks. And it's more so just testing your strength, right? Seeing what you're made out of, but it's nothing that you won't overcome. It's nothing that can break you or crush you. The card literally asks you to keep going. It says you're supported and you have the inner strength for this. So the cards believe in you. I believe in you. I think you're going to do great. I think things are really going to look up for you. Please move forward with whatever idea it is that you have in your head. If you don't have one yet, sit down with yourself, take some time, think about what you want to do, plan out your next move. Make sure that you ground yourself, make sure that you get in the right headspace, and really, really push forward with this, okay? Thank you so much again for your support. It was great doing this for you. I wish you the best of luck, okay? Thanks. Blessings.